What if everything you call reality is just a mirror, not a flat reflection, but a living, breathing echo of your mind? What if every sound, every person, every event was you, speaking to yourself in code? We often think of life as something that happens to us. We wake up, we look around, and we assume the world is already here, waiting to be interpreted. But what if the world is not a stage you walked onto, but a film still being written, frame by frame, by what you believe is true? From the moment we are born, we begin collecting beliefs. They are not chosen, they are absorbed. They come from parents, teachers, religions, television, trauma. We mistake them for truth because they feel familiar. And familiarity is one of the ego's most seductive disguises. But at some point, something in us begins to stir. We start to question the unquestioned. We look at the person we have become and whisper, "Did I choose this?" That whisper is the first crack in the mirror. Because true awakening is not about adding new beliefs. It's about seeing which ones were never ours to begin with. Beliefs are the architecture of experience. They are the invisible blueprints that shape perception, emotion, and memory. Some say beliefs create reality. Others say beliefs simply color reality. Both are true, because creation and perception are not separate. They are two sides of the same act of observation. The moment you look, you are already shaping what you see. You are not a passive witness to the world. You are a participant in its unfolding. Imagine two people standing beneath the same sky. One sees possibility, the other sees threat. One experiences peace, the other anxiety. They inhabit different worlds, yet they share the same space. This is how belief becomes reality, not by magic, but by frequency. Every belief you hold vibrates, and everything that resonates with it finds its way to you, not as punishment or reward, but as correspondence. Life is not happening to you. It is responding from you. When you shift your belief, you don't change the movie, you change the projector. The light that shines through you illuminates a new story, and the scenes begin to rearrange themselves accordingly. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible, but over time, the people you meet, the opportunities you attract, the emotions that visit you, they all begin to match the pattern of your new perception. But there's a deeper layer still. Beneath all these changing beliefs, there exists something unchangeable. Awareness itself. That awareness is not a belief. It is the space in which beliefs arise and dissolve. It is not human identity. It is divine identity, timeless and unshaken. You are that awareness, pretending to be a person learning how life works. When you begin the journey of questioning your beliefs, it can feel like the ground beneath you is cracking. The things you once held sacred start to dissolve. The self you defended begins to blur. This is not loss, it is liberation. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open. Every belief is a doorway, but most of us stop at the threshold, mistaking the doorway for the destination. We collect philosophies, religions, ideologies, decorating the door frames, while the room beyond remains unexplored. The room beyond belief is silence. The room beyond silence is truth. Beliefs can serve you, but only when you recognize them as temporary tools. They are ladders, not ceilings. A ladder that refuses to be let go of becomes a cage. So when life shakes your foundation, when relationships end, careers crumble, or identities fade, remember, it is not destruction, it is excavation. The truth beneath your beliefs is trying to emerge. You are consciousness, trying to remember itself through the experience of limitation. And every challenge, every contradiction, every heartbreak is part of that remembering. Sometimes, your beliefs clash with reality. You may say, "I am abundant," while your bank account disagrees. But the mismatch is not failure. It is feedback. The universe is not mocking you. It is mirroring you. It is showing you where your words and your frequency are out of alignment. That is not punishment. It is precision. The key is not to affirm harder, but to feel deeper. You cannot overwrite fear with language. you must dissolve it with awareness. The belief is not just a sentence, it is a vibration. And vibrations change only when consciousness relaxes into truth. Reality is a dance between perception and projection. Every experience is both a message and a mirror. The people who trigger you, the events that challenge you, the patterns that repeat, they are not there to torture you. They are teachers disguised as circumstances, revealing what you still believe about yourself. Beliefs do not only shape what you see, they shape what you allow yourself to receive. If you believe love is dangerous, you will misinterpret kindness as manipulation. If you believe success requires sacrifice, you will unconsciously push away ease. And if you believe you are unworthy, you will translate blessings into burdens. It's not that the universe denies you, it's that you deny yourself through misperception. The outer world waits patiently for your inner permission. So when reality feels stagnant, it is not life withholding. It is consciousness hesitating. The universe will not contradict your vibration. It is too loyal to your freedom to impose a truth you have not yet chosen. To change your world, you must first outgrow the comfort of your old identity, because every belief carries with it an emotional climate, a familiar chemistry. We think we fear change, but what we really fear is feeling differently. Our nervous system clings to old beliefs not because they are true, but because they are predictable. Transformation begins when curiosity becomes stronger than fear. Curiosity is the soul's first rebellion against unconscious living. It says, maybe there's more than I've been told. That simple thought cracks the code of the matrix. You do not need to destroy your beliefs. You only need to see them clearly. A belief seen in full awareness begins to dissolve on its own. Clarity is the solvent of illusion. And as you shed one belief after another, something miraculous happens. You begin to feel lighter. Not because you've gained anything new, but because you've stopped carrying what was never real. As the layers fall away, you begin to realize that every belief you ever held was a story. And every story was just consciousness trying to understand itself. You have never been wrong for believing. You were simply exploring creation through perspective. Beliefs are not mistakes. They are experiments. And when an experiment no longer brings expansion, it is time to move on. The moment you question a belief, you are already waking up from it. To see the cage is to step outside it. But the mind resists because it thinks identity depends on continuity. It clings to old ideas not because they are true, but because they make you feel consistent. And yet, consistency is the opposite of growth. The river that refuses to change its course becomes a swamp. Every few years, the universe will test the elasticity of your identity. It will send you experiences that contradict what you think you know. It will ask, are you willing to become someone new? And how you respond determines how reality responds to you. Some call this karma, others call it self-reflection. In truth, it is simply the law of resonance at play. Every belief eventually meets its mirror. When the mirror shatters, it's not the end of your world, but the beginning of your seeing. Notice the difference between reacting and reflecting. Reaction is unconscious agreement with illusion. Reflection is conscious participation in evolution. One keeps you asleep, the other makes you lucid in the dream. When you are lucid, you realize that every problem is a projection asking to be loved. The anger in others shows you your own repressed fire. The arrogance you despise mirrors your own unhealed need for significance. The betrayal you suffer reveals where you once betrayed yourself. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens for your recognition. The mystics were never escapists. They simply saw through appearances so completely that the world could no longer fool them. To say all is mind is not to deny the body, it is to remind the body who commands it. When you remember that awareness is primary, even matter begins to behave differently. Thought becomes pattern, pattern becomes habit, habit becomes identity, and identity becomes destiny. That is how belief crystallizes into experience. So if you wish to change your destiny, trace it backward to the thought that birthed it. Pull the root, and the fruit must change. But this work is not about control. It is about intimacy with creation. You cannot bully your mind into enlightenment. You can only love it into surrender. Every shadow within you is waiting to be met, not managed. When you meet it without judgment, the shadow melts back into light, because you have stopped pretending it was separate. This is why the question, do beliefs create reality, is both yes and no. Beliefs create your version of reality, but not reality itself. Reality, pure existence, is eternal and unchanging. Beliefs are ripples upon that ocean, temporary and self-referential. They do not define the water, they only describe its movement. And yet, within the illusion, your beliefs are gods. They tell your body what is possible. They instruct your eyes on what to notice, and your heart on what to fear. To alter them is to alter the limits of experience. That is why self-inquiry is sacred. It's not mental gymnastics, it's quantum engineering. When you begin to notice how belief operates, you can watch yourself in real time creating. You think, I'm alone, and the world obliges by echoing your loneliness back at you. You think, I am safe, and life bends to accommodate safety. There is no superstition in this. It is the precision of perception. Energy cannot distinguish between imagination and observation. It only responds to attention. So what are you attending to? What stories do you rehearse in silence? Every unexamined thought is a silent prayer. Every belief you repeat is an order placed with the universe. If you truly understood this, you would treat your thoughts like sacred architecture. But remember, the goal is not perfection, it is awareness. You are allowed to believe contradictory things. The mind is a museum of paradoxes. Let it be so. You can hold the belief, I am infinite, and still cry when it rains. Spiritual maturity is not about eliminating human emotion. It is about remembering who feels it. You are the sky, not the storm. And yet, the storm is your own artistry. You painted these clouds so that sunlight could be meaningful again. If reality feels dense, you are simply standing inside a belief that has forgotten its source. The way out is never force. It is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a moral act. It is metaphysical hygiene. It cleans the lens through which creation looks at itself. You forgive the past not to fix history, but to free energy. Every resentment is trapped attention. Every guilt is unspent love. Release them, and your field clears. A clear field reflects pure light, and pure light bends reality. You might wonder, what if I can't stop believing the things that hurt me? You don't have to. Just see them clearly. Illusion cannot survive the gaze of awareness. Darkness doesn't need to be fought, it needs to be seen. The light of your seeing is enough. Awareness is the solvent of illusion. It doesn't argue with the dream, it wakes up within it. And when you wake up, you see that creation was never outside you. It was always an echo of your own consciousness exploring itself through contrast. Every life is a classroom. Every day, a new lesson in remembering. The curriculum is love, disguised as form. And your beliefs are just temporary textbooks that dissolve once the lesson is learned. Eventually, you will stop asking whether beliefs create reality and start realizing that reality itself is belief in motion, the universe believing itself into being through you. You are the thought of God, dreaming, and your awakening is God remembering the dreamer. When you finally understand that you are the dreamer, not the dream, a great tenderness enters your life. You stop trying to force the world to bend to your will, and instead allow it to reveal your consciousness. The question shifts from, why is this happening to me, to what within me is this showing me? Every event becomes feedback, every encounter a revelation. This is what it means to live awake, to see meaning where others see randomness. Beliefs are not prisons once you learn to walk through their walls. They are temporary languages through which spirit teaches you about itself. A belief that once limited, you can later become your greatest teacher. Because every distortion carries the seed of its correction. Fear eventually teaches courage, scarcity teaches generosity, loss teaches detachment, and loneliness teaches union. All lessons are translations of the same curriculum, love learning to recognize itself again. You do not need to be afraid of your conditioning. You do not need to fight your mind. You simply need to become intimate with it. Hold your fear like a child who does not yet understand the dark. Sit with your doubt until it dissolves into humility. And watch how even your confusion begins to shine when you stop trying to fix it. True mastery is not controlling belief. It is relaxing into awareness so deeply that belief becomes play. Then you can pick up any perspective the moment requires without identifying with it. You can step into roles, ideas, and emotions as easily as an actor who knows the scene is temporary. This is what the mystics called freedom, participation without attachment, creation without confusion. You were never meant to escape the world. You were meant to participate lucidly within it, to walk the marketplace as the sky, to sit in the storm without losing the calm. Every act of kindness, every word of beauty, every quiet breath of compassion, these are miracles of perception correcting themselves through you. When you move through life like this, you are no longer asking, do beliefs create reality? You are living as the answer. Awareness without belief is clarity. Belief infused with awareness is creation. Together they form the dance of being and becoming, the eternal rhythm of existence discovering itself. The trick is to remember that you are both the dancer and the stage, the choreography and the witness. You are the stillness watching motion, and the motion expressing stillness. When you begin to live from this realization, synchronicities multiply. You think of someone, and they call. You open your heart, and strangers appear to help you. You change your mind, and the world reconfigures in response. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Reality is showing you that it listens. And yet, this awareness is not about controlling outcomes. It's about resting in a deeper trust, knowing that whatever arises is exactly what serves your evolution. When you release the need to manipulate, manifestation becomes effortless. Desire purifies into inspiration. Intention turns into participation, and gratitude becomes the natural pulse of existence. One day, you will look back at your entire life and see that even the darkest nights were holy. They were not detours but doorways, openings through which love could enter more fully. Beliefs that once seemed like burdens will appear as stepping stones. You will realize that nothing was wasted, because every experience carved more space for awareness to know itself. When you reach that realization, you no longer fear change, because you see that change is not the destruction of self. It is the revelation of the self that cannot be destroyed. You can watch your old stories crumble and smile, because you understand that the one watching was never inside them. That watcher, that still, luminous presence, is who you truly are. So if you wish to change reality, begin by noticing what you believe about yourself. Not to judge, but to understand. Ask gently, is this belief helping me remember love? If not, bless it and let it dissolve. You do not need to push it away. Awareness itself is the fire that transforms. The universe is not testing you. It is teaching you to see. It is mirroring your depth until you recognize that you and the mirror are the same. Every face you meet is a facet of your own infinity. Every experience is consciousness folding in on itself, whispering, "Wake up, beloved, you are me." And that is the moment the question dies. Do beliefs create reality? Loses its urgency, because you realize the believer and the reality were never separate. There was never a line between thought and thing, subject and object, dreamer and dream. There was only ever awareness, infinite, creative, and whole, pretending to forget itself for the joy of rediscovery. So breathe, forgive the stories, love the confusion, and let each thought become a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your remembering. Because ultimately, there are no beliefs, no creators, no realities. Only consciousness, playing hide and seek with itself, calling the game life.